Kristen Welker is the moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, good morning. You had a chance to speak to President Trump after these strikes began on Saturday. What was your takeaway from that conversation and how we got from diplomacy on Thursday and Friday, and there was planned diplomacy again in Vienna on Monday, to those strikes taking place about 36 hours ago?
Well, this was an extraordinary 3-minute phone call, Willie, short but jam-packed with information. It was then that President Trump said the U.S. had assessed that the supreme leader had been killed, he said, but it was more than that, that key leaders had also been taken out, telling me the strikes have caused, quote, very great losses on their leadership, adding tremendous damage has been inflicted. The people that make all the decisions, most of them are gone. And, of course, this morning, Israel saying at least 40 military commanders were killed. What the president didn't say, though, Willie, what happens next? Who will step into that leadership void? In terms of how the president made that final decision that he did wrestle with, one of the key breaking points, Willie, was the fact that he felt like Iran was not negotiating in good faith, that they hadn't said those magic words that he wanted to hear, that Iran would ultimately abandon its nuclear weapons program, its attempt to develop a weapon. He said they were trying to develop a weapon that could strike the United States. And so that was a critical part of that final decision. Now the question does become the pressure on Capitol Hill. Will the administration go to Congress? And does the president need to make his case to the American people? So far, he hasn't exactly done that. And again, of course, campaigning on a promise to get America out of foreign wars. Now, of course, waging war with Iran. The concerns, could this escalate? Could this potentially become a regional conflict? It's part of what we'll unpack today on the program, Willie.
All right, Kristen, we'll be watching. Thanks so much. We'll look for more this morning on Meet the Press when Kristen has much more on her interview with President Trump. She also will be joined exclusively by Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Democratic Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, and Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.